Hey, yeah, so I got my pastazanum about 5 months ago. It came damaged. However, I thought leave it, let it rehab, which it did, but now I think I have root rot. So that's what we're doing today. Hey planty peeps, welcome or welcome back to NichesPlants. My name is Kenisha, also known as Niche, and on this channel we talk, live and love plants. If that's your thing, hit that bell button and subscribe. So today we're talking pastazanum. This is a philodendron, if you don't know. Basically, when I got this plant, I bought it from Sweden, came across, it literally just had the stem and a caterpillar which was about this height. It had no leaves. But on arrival, what was the caterpillar had basically been damaged in the box or during shipping, and it had bent and pretty much, yeah, the end had cracked and it was facing this way. So it was pretty much, it was either chop it off or chop around it, see if it will grow. And I chopped around where it was cracked, so I had a little tiny, like the internal area of the caterpillar, didn't really know if it was going to grow or not. I suspected that it might have basically died, dropped off, and another growth point would have activated. However, it did fairly well. It grew, and this is it now. Now, if you want to see what it looked like when it arrived, I will show the haul for my plants from Sweden here. You can check that out. But this is it. So basically, you can see we've got a few aerial root, well, not a few here that have kind of gone down into the pot. Now this it's in the initial pot and substrate that I bought it. Now you'll wonder, Kenisha, why did you just leave it? Because it came damaged, I had to rehab it. I didn't want to take it out of the pot, kind of mess around with the roots, as well as it trying to kind of recover from the damaged caterpillar, grow a new leaf, as well as then kind of adjust with the disturbance of the roots. So I thought just leave it, let it flourish, and then we can kind of repot it in the spring. However, I then started to see on this leaf, because this was basically it was under my grow light pretty much directly, because it was just no caterpillar and I wanted to give it all that it can, sorry about that shake, for it to grow. But then I started to see some browning on the leaf edges, as you can see here, it's kind of faded on this side and a patch, and I thought, okay, plants, especially philodendron, usually do that on the edges because they're getting too much light and it starts to bleach the leaves. So I thought, okay, time to move it. It's grown its first leaf, it's got the next caterpillar on the way, let's move it down to kind of philodendron level, which is majority of my kind of crawlers are on the base of my greenhouse. So I moved it down there. Then I got the second leaf come through, which was lovely. This leaf right here, it did really well. It started to grow. I've got grow lights on the lower shelf, and it obviously faced the light. But then I noticed again, we started to have lighter areas on the perimeter of the leaf, and some light kind of what would look like more kind of faded patches on the leaf. So we had lighter areas, and I thought, okay, maybe it's can't still be getting too much light, because this light is more of a warmer light than the light on the first shelf, because that's really bright. So I thought, okay, since this is happening, maybe it's root rot. Now root rot can show in several ways depending on the plant that you have. The stem of the plant can kind of dry and look like it's dying. You might have a yellowing patch on one area of the leaf that spreads, or you might have yellowing around the leaf that spreads, or you might just have patches of yellow. It does vary depending on the plant and how severe. So I thought, okay, do you know what, I've watered it as usual, I've left it in the substrate that it was in, it's been growing. Considering all the aerial roots are going down into the pot as well, and the stem is actually quite large, I haven't checked the roots, so that's what I need to do. Yeah, I'm assuming we've got some root rot in there, and that's basically why, because when I moved the plant from being in bright direct light onto the lower shelf, the leaf still had elements of yellowing on the perimeter of the leaf. Now, if it was in the right conditions, it shouldn't be doing that. It should grow as usual, nice semi-dark green foliage, and it wasn't doing that. Well, not really dark green. This is kind of like a lightish dark green. This leaf, you're probably wondering, Kish, why does this look so different? Now, my grow light on the lower shelves, it's because of the light that it is, it really brings out the pigmentation in leaves. So for instance, my philodendron verrucosums and my philodendron El Choco reds, the backs are really red, really prominent. The choco really gets that kind of choco color before it goes to its dark green, and I believe that is due to the lower shelf does get some daylight sun, so that's bright, kind of indirect, but it also has that grow light, which it has a tendency to bring out the reds in leaves, as I said. So the back, as this was growing, was actually quite red, and you might be able to see now it's still kind of got that hint of kind of a pink coppery, and the front of the leaf you can see is more like a kind of copper color, which is really nice, but this is the first leaf to do so. So this is what we're going to do now. I hadn't taken the plant out to check earlier because this caterpillar was coming, this leaf was coming through, as I thought maybe it's root rot, and it was unfurling, and again I didn't want to mess it up and then this one not unfurl properly. But now that it's fully unfurled and it's fine, we are going to unpot this. So that's basically what we're going to do. We're going to get straight into it. I might not talk much, it's more so going to be a visual aspect so you can see what the soil looks like. From what I can see here, it's mostly in, sorry, I think that's the door. From what I see here, it's mostly in cocoa coir. So cocoa coir with a bit of bark and a bit of coir, what am I trying to say? Coir chips, that's it. So sorry, I feel like I've got something in my eye. It's just kind of itching me. So that's what we're going to do. So yeah, let's get to it. Okay, so this is the pot that I'm going to be potting the Pastazanum into. Just to note, this is a 17 centimeter pot. It's an orchid pot, as you can tell. We've got drainage holes, and it's a clear plot because when it grows I can then see the roots and see what's happening without again having to kind of dig in there. Not that I usually do that, but I like to see the development and see how it's going. I've literally just got this here because if I need to chop off any roots, they're going to go in here. I've got my shears. I've cleaned those with alcohol, vodka to be precise. So that's what we're going to do. Now here it is. Now just to know, this does have a drainage hole, so when I have watered it, it has been able to drain away. But we're just going to, it's quite compact, like you can see there's not really much falling away from it, so I feel like we can just pull it out. Oh, yep. So we've got some perlite and stuff there, fine. The roots look good. Now you can see these are the aerial roots that have kind of come down into the soil, or around the soil, and just kind of been feeding the plant that way. But you can definitely see on this side, if I turn it around, those roots there, we need to chop those off. We've got another root on this side here that we need to chop off, but you can kind of see what the roots look like. So yeah, we've definitely got a few that need to be chopped. Now I'm just going to break it up, really. That's what we're going to do. See, even that root there knew was starting to rot, so that is the base. You can see that stump there. So I'm just going to move everything else around it. Okay, so as you guys can see, we have nice, clear, clean roots, and you can actually see the stem is actually really chunky. So let's take a little bit of bark off. All right, so yeah, so as you can see, clean roots, chunky, no brown. The aerial roots like this one is really working for it, and these guys have come down and basically assisted, and they've got additional roots. This one will do the same. You can see you've got the pink starting to come through on the tip of that root there, and these will do the same. As it crawls along, it will just plant in the pot and continue to crawl. So what we're going to do is pot up in here. I'm literally just going to put them in like that. Let the root, now I don't know if I want the base, I don't really want the base to sit. I probably want the base like that, to be honest. And then those can go down into the pot, and then it's not too low or too high. So just so you know as well, I've actually pre-mixed some soil, and basically we've got, so I'll show you what's in here. I've got some chunky bits of perlite that I'm actually going to use at the base just to kind of sprinkle around for additional aeration. Okay, so this is my mix, and I'm literally just going to start potting up. Now I'm going to put you here. Hope you do all right there. Yeah, I'm literally just going to start potting up my mix. Okay, so this is my Pastazanum potted up. If you do like this type of video, then please do like it and do subscribe for more content like this. And if there's anything in particular that you would also like to see, do let me know in the comments below. But this is basically it. You can see it's all potted around the base. The stump is supported, and then we can see roots if they're growing, like you can see one poking through there. And it's got drainage roots, so when it does drainage holes, so when that water it can drain through. The moss will hold on to some of the moisture, but the orchid bark, the cocoa chunks and the elements of perlite will allow aeration. However, the cocoa chunks does hold a little bit of moisture, so if the soil does get a little bit more dry, they still have other elements within the soil that they can draw moisture from. So this is it, but yeah, for now, dare to dream, live to grow, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.